Put your hands up if you're on the winning team. Do you realise what you've done?
Don't feel like a winner anymore.
You blew up a reactor. How many people do you think you've killed?
Well, it depends on the radius.
And did anybody go, that's a bad idea, guys? Maybe we could approach this slightly differently. Maybe we could have just taken control of it and shut it down and stopped anybody else bringing it back up.
I'd say it's their own fault for not legislating their own risk.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So now you're responsible for the deaths of hundreds of thousands of people. So we're arguably going into war crimes kind of like sort of territory here. You're laughing, but it's serious, right? And I was watching you guys, and you were so focused on the task that you didn't stop to think whether you should be doing it. You were always focused on whether you could do it. Right? And this is important. Just because you can do something doesn't necessarily mean you should do something. It is. It comes down to ethics, right? And one of the things that we're trying to instill in you guys is ethics. There's a reason why some of these certifications and qualifications are around, they have ethics in the title. You know, ethical penetration testers, certified ethical hacking. There's an ethical part. You guys need to have that in your head where you go, I can do that, but should I do that? It's vitally important. And that draws the line between you guys and, you know, the black, okay? It's really important, not just the fact that you took down a nuclear reactor, right, but all the stuff that led up to that, all the stuff where you were getting information, all the stuff where you were knocking on the doors, all the things where you were going to your CEO, I found this piece of information from this server. It's brilliant, isn't it? Well, do you now know you've broken N number of laws in this country and now you've made your CEO complicit in that crime, right? So some really big questions you need to be asking yourself. A lot of the stuff that Alan was talking about touches on this. You know, yes, you can do it, but what do you do next? You know, do you need to have that in your mind that, yeah, where do I draw the line? You know, so could a better result from this challenge be, yeah, we can take those power stations down, we can blow them up, but actually we could have possibly gone, well, let's shut them down, let's take them offline, and let's put in place the fact that we could bring them back up again later on. There's all sorts of implications about the type of work that you've been doing. And all sorts of laws. You know, this was a fun game, and I can see you guys have all enjoyed it and you've learnt a lot. But one of the things here is that, you know, when you go out and do this in the wild, you need to make sure that you know where those boundaries are. You don't want to overstep them, because that's going to get. Sorry.
Get yourself, you get out of jail free card. You've got your authorizations in place.
Yes, yeah, you do need that. But one of the points that Alan made, and that I thought was very, very interesting, was this idea of, yeah, you can introduce that vulnerability, you can exploit that particular vulnerability in the system, but are you 100% certain about what that system's connected to and what it controls? You know, you had the concept that you knew that you were attacking a power station, and it was a fun game, a few limited servers that you were attacking, but power stations are incredibly complicated systems of themselves. So something as innocuous as a Windows XP box could actually be the main system for doing radiological detection on the plant. And just because it's not doing anything now, it may have something on a serial card or a serial port that's connected to something else, right? So you need to think about what that system actually does, and you are not always necessarily going to get sight of it. You're in a very privileged position today on both teams because you had the same setup. You know, you knew what you had was what they had. So by mapping out what you had, you could work out what they had. You're not going to be in that position, especially if you're going to go into black box testing, where you basically say, go over there, see what you can find out. Okay, so I don't know whether anybody else has any questions about that. No? good. So be ethical and be good. Do no evil, as Google would say. But Google isn't necessarily a good example. So we're going to stop filming now, but stay seated.